Hi, everybody. It's Dan Cerrucci again, and this is one of our regular weekly chats. Well, we've been having them pretty much weekly. They're not really weekly. I do them when I have a guest, when I have somebody that I think I want you to know about and I want to introduce to you. And this is one of those occasions because this is a gentleman that I met recently, Ankush Bhandari, and happened to meet him at a very pleasant gathering of New Jersey Republicans in Atlantic City. Um, Not to say that he's, I don't think, ardently partisan. I'm not sure. We'll talk to Ankush about why he was at that gathering and what put him there. But Ankush, how are you tonight?
Hello, Dan. Hello and namaste to all my friends over there who are watching us. I'm very good, Dan. Thank you so much for inviting me at your podcast. Appreciate it. And it was also great to meet you. We have a very short conversation because we are very busy at there, but I love to talk to you more today. Thank you.
Yeah, we had a very brief conversation because we were both meeting a lot of different people, weren't we?
Exactly. Yeah, because we have a couple of sessions. After session, we have a couple of questions which we want to ask either who is giving the session or we have to discussion among ourselves. But it was great to see a lot of great patriots, great conservatives, and great American loving and humanity loving people over there, I will say.
Yes, yes. And a diverse group of people at the New Jersey Republican Summit recently in
Exactly.
Atlantic City. And why did you attend this summit, Ankush?
Uh, okay, there are a couple of reasons, Dan. Uh, I know I am a conservative and I'm very proud of it.
Mhm.
As an Hindu Indian American, I'm very proud of being a conservative, and I because it aligns very much with my values of Vasudev Kutumbakam, which means that the whole world is a family, the globe is a family. Is a Sanskrit phrase which is taught to us since we are child. uh, it very much aligned with my values of family values, with my values of towards the country. We because I am living in America right now. My birth was in India, but I am living in America now. I owe a lot to this country because this country is giving me the food, the roof on my head, the food on my table, right? And I want to do something for the for to return back to this country. And I think my values very much aligned to the grand old party's values. That this was the reason I was there, and I want to meet a lot of patriots from the state level because I'm in Bergen County. I met a lot of them here on a regular basis when we have a monthly meetings or when we have seminars. We have dinners, lunches, and couple of things, but we are not able to meet on a state level, right? So I
Right.
think that's the good platform. I can see couple of new faces. They are my friends on the Facebook. We talk couple of time, but when you meet to have face to face interaction, right,
Right.
it has
Right.
a different values. It has a different aura. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it was great fun. And you folks had a wonderful reception there too,
Yes,
where
we
we
did a
got to
Bollywood
see
night. Yeah, we did a
we were introduced to your culture and
yeah,
some of your traditions, and it was
exactly.
wonderful. I noticed, Ankush, that a lot of uh, Americans of Indian descent,
Mm-hmm.
or people of Indian descent who are here in America,
Right.
are drawn to the Republican Party, are coming into the Republican Party. Why do you think that's so?
Very good and great question, Dan. I will say that. Yes, I'm very proud to say that yes, now the trend is changing. The wind is blowing the other way. Earlier it was Democrats, because when we came to this country, when I can tell my example, I don't know what other people are. As an Hindu Indian American, when I came to this country, I think that Democrats means democracy, and at that time Obama was the president, and the recession was in is at the high 2008-9. It was the whole country was under recession, And whenever I switch on my TV, I see, oh, he has given help to this country, oh sorry, to this company. He has saved this company, and so many employees were saved. So to me, I think that, oh wow, Democrats are really good, right? And also, I will be very honest with you, Dan, here. Whenever I talk to any Republican, or just say that, okay, there are two party. We have in India, we have multi-party system. Here we have just
Right.
two party, Democrats or Republican. At the maximum, yes, we have independence, but it's
Right.
very point one or 1%, right? They say, oh, Republicans, white supremacist. They carry a gun in their pocket and they don't let you speak. And you can well imagine a guy who came just landed in this country don't want to get himself killed, right?
Right. Right.
So I think, okay, I will stay away from the white supremacist which they have given the tag. But as you mentioned just right now, a couple of seconds back, in GOP, we met a lot of Latinos, lot of Black, lot of Asian Americans, lot of Indians, Hindus. So it was just like we have a extended family over there, right? So when
Right.
I started, when I started in 2016, Trump was elected, I was very unhappy. I will be honest with you. I said, oh my God, time has come to leave America. But my views changed altogether in 2017 when he speak and that guy says, Mr. President, I love and I salute him for saying these words. I am the president of America. I am not the president of the world. It means he owes to us whether we vote him, we select him, we like him, it doesn't matter. The policies, what matters to a person like me and you, is the policies of the government. And I think being a writer on a I have written, I have co-authored a book on geostrategy and all those, right? I
Right.
used to write a lot. Being a writer, being a little knowledge, whatever I have, I think that changed my viewpoint. That changed, and that was a 180-degree turn. And I just moved to start looking what he does, how it's benefit me as a middle class person, a salaried person who is always from paycheck to paycheck, and how it is helping my community. He was the first president. I am very proud to say that he was the first president who mingled with my community, the Hindu community of America. Not Obama did. I didn't know
Right.
that. Even
Right.
not Biden is doing. Whether he say, "Oh, I have a president, vice president, and Hindu," but you tell me, I don't want that vice president unless you don't do anything good for me. I can cite you many examples right now, how at Tenek, how those Democrats are bullying Hindus. I can give you the example how the Rutgers University has published a paper on that, and it was done by the esteemed authors, by the esteemed professors, even the ex attorney general or advocate general for of the New Jersey, that Hindu phobia is spreading, and it's always happening in those progressive cities. And what are those progressive cities? The blue cities. I haven't seen any Hindu phobia in my red cities, in my red states. No, I
Okay.
get the same love and affection from a Republican Party, which I think as a human being I will get.
Now,
And I,
now you came to this country in 2009,
yes, sir. Correct.
and um, you work in
I'm in
information
IT industry, IBM. I was working
IT.
with IBM. I was working with IBM, and IBM brought me here on a work visa, and then I applied for my green card. It took a couple of years, and then I got my green card.
So now you're on a green card. Now, I must tell people in case they don't know this, the process of legally becoming an American citizen. I know some people who have done this. Okay, so I'm familiar with this. Is a long and can be difficult process.
Very tedious, especially for the Hindu Americans, Indian Americans. Why? Because our quota is very less, and we are the people who are giving taxes. 99.9% are legal here, and we are giving taxes. We are building this economy, and we consider America as our second motherland. India is our first
Right.
motherland, obviously. So,
So the Hindu Americans that are coming here
right.
are skilled.
Yes.
They're hardworking. They're hardworking.
Exactly.
They pay their taxes. They're law abiding.
Yes.
Okay, they're strong family people,
Right.
and they're working through the system as you are to become an American citizen,
Correct.
and you are
Yes.
contributing to our society.
Right.
So I think
Correct.
this is very important for people to understand. You were educated in India, Ankush.
Yes, I did my bachelor's as well as master's in India,
Uh,
and yeah, and but most of the Indian students, like which came over here in this country, they land in this country on a student visa, and then they try to get a job. And most of us are either in the engineering field or the medical field, and the scientists we are mainly, right?
right,
Because all my American friends say, "Hey, you are brainy people, right?" So it's just a slang they always put on me. You can do it. You are a brainy guy, right? So I said, okay. So yeah, because we are mainly in the technical side of because that's our values which we always get from our parents. That if you are educated, if you are learned, you can make the right decision. You will be an asset not only to your community but to the country and also to the world, right? so
yes,
so that's what, if I know you, you have, as you said, you have a lot of Indian friends and you have seen a lot of Indian diaspora. You will see that, as you mentioned, we are very peace loving people, because we always say that we always believe in Om Shanti, right? That we always have a peaceful environment where let's sit across the table and talk, right? So
right.
obviously our values, our cultures are not from here. It's almost 10,000 or 15,000 years back, when the civilization was growing up. You can very well see the Arya, but he has given zero. If zero is not invented, we don't have any decimal system, right? So a
Yeah,
lot of
I mean,
things.
this goes thousands of years back. The values and the traditions. It may be hard for Americans to understand. Our
Right.
country's a little bit more than 200 years old,
Right.
but for Indians, their heritage and their culture goes, as Ankush is saying, actually thousands of years back,
Correct.
and contains these uh, core values. And India today is a vibrant country with a very strong economy, and you have a lot of skilled workers,
Right.
a lot
uh,
of skilled workers.
Right. As I told you, uh, Britishers have given us only one thing: English. Okay, they have plundered $45 trillion from my country, and when they were leaving, they divided us on the basis of religion. But I am very proud to say that still 350 million, around 350 million Muslims are still living in my country, and we live very harmony with each other. And like in a family, you can have some, fights, or you can have some, you don't agree to somebody. That's always happen when you have a 1.4 billion people, right? So as I mentioned earlier, we are brainy people. Our parents always ask us and told us that, okay, you have to study. It make you a gentleman in your life. You can make the right decision. We have a very good population who are English speaking. In the last couple of years, like since 8 7 8 years back, around 150 to 160 million people has been taken out of the poverty line. So poverty is under eradication. A lot of I just visited India in September last year, excuse me, because Diwali is our main festival, and I love, like, you guys want to be on the Christmas with the family, we guys want to be on Diwali with our families, right? and my parents are there, my siblings are there, so I went there, and we have a good Diwali. I have seen the way the India is transforming, on whether it's on highway level, the new roads are coming up, the metros are coming up, the new airports are coming on, infrastructure is enormous going on, and with that, the latest technology they are using. Yesterday only, I attended a conference at the Indian consulate in New York. I was invited over there because one of the minister was there, and he showcased within 20 minutes that how they are preserving the water, because in the next 20-25 year world will be facing a water scarcity if we don't preserve them, and we have seen that already in California just last year, right? And we have seen that in Arizona, in on the west coast. So they have already start developing a method so that how we can save every drop of water for our future generations.
So India is already working on that.
Yes, they have already started. They are using AI. I asked him what technology you are using. Are you using AI? He said yes, we are using AI. We have 6 levels where we are working on, and we want to make which have a lot of water, like a lot of rains. How they can send it to the less rainy area or the drought areas. And he gave a very good example of one part of UP, at so much Uttar Pradesh, it's just a state in the north of India, where they have a lot of water supplies, and due to rains when the monsoons come in during July to September, October, and they are preserving that water and giving that to another state, a neighboring state of Madhya Pradesh. And that one area is Bundelkhand, which is very water scarce, has very less water. And how they have already started working. They have 6 levels on this they are working on, and they have pointed the areas where they are working on, so that's all the vision we they are
Amazing.
having for
Amazing.
2030.
I see India, Ankush,
Mm-hmm.
and I've read a little bit about this, not nearly enough, but
Okay.
I see India emerging as a major economic alternative to China. We are um, countries that don't want to deal with China anymore
Yes.
are sending business and doing business with India.
Mm-hmm.
And India, more and more, emerging as a major, maybe one of the two or three major world economic powers now.
Yes. I
Am I exaggerating this?
No, I don't think you are exaggerating this. I read somewhere, I think it's a George Bush Jr., not the senior.
Right.
He when the Indian and Indo-US nuclear treaty was signed, I think before that, if I'm not wrong, he has said that America on the west and India on the east, we
Mm-hmm.
don't need any other partner.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said that.
Okay.
I have seen him saying, I think it was not
Something along
Obama.
those lines.
Yeah, nothing. I think it was not Obama, but it was a George Bush when the nuclear
Yeah.
treaty was signed. So, and I think he was a visionary leader.
Okay.
He has seen
Yeah.
what
A
in
visionary leader.
2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has seen in 2006 what is happening in 2023. Uh,
Yeah.
16, 17 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you are absolutely right. As mentioned, your infrastructure in the build, the new technology. Now you can see the UTI, right? Even if you go to a shop vendor on the street vendor in India, just for drinking a water bottle, taking a water bottle, or just taking a five rupees, food plate from there, like we have in New York. If you go to New York, people prefer to go to the street vendor and having lunch than to
Right.
go to
Right.
the.
Right.
There also we have a UPI card over there in which they have a scan. You don't have to pay cash. You just take your phone, because everybody has phone over there. Scan it, the money goes to his account directly.
And that's it.
That's it. That's what they said, that it's a digital India, right? So that's why they are working on it. Even a cobbler on which you go on the street and say, hey, can you polish my shoes or fix my shoe? And he say, okay, you don't need money. I don't have change. Okay, sir, don't give me change. Do you have a scan? Do you have a phone? Please scan, and the money will be transferred. That's all.
And it's very quick.
It's very quick, seconds,
Yeah.
right?
Now,
Yeah.
do you are you working now for a company that's centered in India?
No, I'm working for a company which is based in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Because I mean, we're in a global economy now.
right.
Let me ask you this: Is India have to be careful about geopolitically positioning itself, sitting where it does, so like close to
China.
China and reasonably close to Russia? Um, how does this play out?
Okay, see, India always have, since it got uh, independence from 1947 from Britishers. India always has a very uh, independent foreign policy, what I understand. Earlier they have the non-aligned movement saying that, okay, we don't want to go into any camp that is a Soviet bloc or the US bloc, right? So they have very independent foreign policy, and I think that's the main power. The independent foreign policy of India has taken India to this level where most countries, the developed country, haven't reached yet. You can take UK, you can take France, Germany, Japan, all are going down because they said that as Mr. Jaishankar, who was the foreign minister, like we have the foreign secretary here, right? Mr. Blinken, right? We have the
Blinken, right?
yeah,
Anthony Blinken.
Anthony Blinken. Similarly, it's called a foreign minister. He very well said in one of the I think interviews or maybe in one of the seminars. I don't remember right now. I listened. He said that we have a very independent foreign policy, and I am responsible for my to give a cheap oil. I know where you are coming from because we are India is creating a lot of oil from Russia, which has become, I think, the second or largest oil importer to India. So they said that if because we have 135 140 million billion 1.3 or 1.4 billion people, right? So I can't just go ahead and take the oil and everything gets shut out, like what we are facing in America, right? That's a very smart plan. That's why they call us a brainy people, right? So that's how it happened because of the foreign policies, independent foreign policies. What you have seen in America, I have paid for my gas $6.20. I think you must have paid the same last year in June and July, right? And it was so tough. Means our kitchen expenses has increased to 30%, right? Our gas expenses is skyrocketing. Already it's
Right,
almost $3.50.
right,
Just in pandemic, I will not say pandemic, before pandemic it was just $1.80, $2. It's always $2 or below $2. So if you see how much extra we are paying, why? Because of the bad foreign policies of this administration, I think so,
right.
right?
No, absolutely, no, absolutely.
Because yeah,
Whereas under President Trump, we were moving towards what we call energy independence.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly. Mhm.
now we have moved away from that, and they are using the argument, of course, that we need more green energy and trying to wean us off of fossil fuels. But we are still dependent on fossil fuels, and
Yes.
we are even more now dependent on other countries and on the Arab countries.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. Means we are just getting our hands off cut, right? And we know we are doing this, but nobody is speaking up. Nobody is saying that this is wrong. See, we don't have a magic wand that, okay, we need a green energy. We will say boom, boom, shakalaka, and everything become green energy, right? It will take time. America is a huge country. It's a big country, the number one economy of the world. You can't say that, okay, green energy will come and it can come in within a week or a month or a year, right? It will eventually come, but if you have to plan, you so
right,
so but you can't take off the gas, fossil fuels. Can you run aeroplanes on green energy? Can you send satellites on green energy?
No,
Absolutely not. Can,
no.
maybe there will time come, maybe
Right.
50 years, 100
Maybe,
years
but
when they can do that. But
it's
right now,
not happening now.
yeah, it's not happening now. And do you think that all those car industries, which are billions and billions of dollars, they have already invested from hundreds year, right? Even when me and you were not born, they were there. So they can just take the plant production shut down and they say we need a new plant production for green energy. That's not possible. They can eventually make changes. It's not a house that, okay, I want to close this room and I want to open this room. It's not, it doesn't happen like that. Correct?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Now you would I wanted to talk about you wrote this book called Geopolitics Redefined.
Yes. I was a
Tell me what
co-author
it
in
was
that.
about. I mean, tell me what that was all about. What was that all about?
Uh, Actually, we have a couple of authors. One is me, another is Dr. Siddhartha. He's a very good author. He's a earth scientist. I have Dr. Ambassador Kapoor. He was ambassador in India, ex-ambassador I will say, but he's based in Maryland here in United States only. And we have other authors like Dr. Ankit Shah. He's very strategist. So this book, what we defined over here is uh, how the uh, how politicized they make one thing and play with the human brain. Like we take an example of green energy. I wrote a chapter on green on energy geopolitics, on cybersecurity geopolitics. Wrote a chapter on rare earth element geopolitics. Okay, so here they are saying that, okay, like we said, energy geopolitics, Russia shut on the tap, Europe is in black hole, the economy of Europe is going down and down and down, whether they openly say that TV channels say or not. But I have my friends in Europe. They said, "Oh my God, what my gas, like I said, our gas prices has increased from $2 to $3.20, 40 cents, 50 cents. Who knows? Tomorrow it will be $4, or tomorrow, day after tomorrow will be $5, right? It doesn't happen since I'm here in US in 10 years or 12 years. It only happened since thanks to the Biden administration, very
Right.
very much thanks to Biden
That
administration
happened
for
very,
their
very
failed
that
foreign policies as well
right,
as failed domestic policies, right? So my book mainly reflects on how they politicize the things and make the people bleed, but the actual scenarios are entirely different. Like, for example, I can tell you in the rare earth element, we already discussed in the energy, the rare earth element. President Trump, during his tenure, signed an executive order saying that we need the rare earth element. If China can go, they can do the extraction in Pacific, in Atlantic, all over. Why don't America and other countries, including India, including Japan, why don't we can go and do the extraction? And because rare earth elements are very important, they are used in our microchips, they are used in our space shuttles, they are used in our aeroplanes. Our military needs them, and if we don't get, we lose. How much billions we invest in our military? If they don't have the equipment, you are just he's going to die. How powerful you are, it doesn't matter. But a soldier needs a jacket on his front, right? A soldier needs a helmet on his front. He needs the good weaponry, right, to
right,
tackle
right,
if those aeroplanes, if those ships needs the rare earth elements, and we are 100% getting dependent on a country which already want to squeeze us, it's not a good thing. And that was Trump said.
right.
And I know many people will not agree with me that it will lead to the coral reefs and all those. I agree. Then sit on a table and make some laws across the world and follow them. So whatever America do, India also do the same. China also do the same. Not 1% more, not 1% less.
Yes, but China doesn't play by the rules. That's part of the problem. Do
That's the
you see
communism.
China? We know that China is stealing um, technology and secrets and other things from America.
See,
Do you see China stealing from India as well?
what to be very honest, that's only my point of view. I think China is stealing from everybody where they
From
think they can do it.
everybody.
Yeah. If you see, they have done the reverse engineering long back in 1960 from the Soviet Union, supplies them their helicopters and their warfare. They start doing the reverse engineering because they don't have the technology to do that. And China was the first one to do that in the world. So they are
Hmm.
not doing, they haven't started it now. They are doing it from the last 60, 70 years. Okay. And if you remember, I used to watch Epoch Time a lot during Trump administration. He has already said that all of these Confucius institutions which we have here, we need to, I am not saying you should close them all together, but you should have a check on them, right?
Hmm.
These they send their this and they send their everything to the mean students to the United States universities, which are very well developed, have a lot of research, a lot of innovation going on, because it's the universities who do the innovation, not the research labs of the companies. Okay, because they collaborate with the companies for that, right? So they do come there, they understand, or they steal the things and they send it back, which is not good, you know. And I completely agree with Mark Rubio when I think it was 2019. I remember it was during the Trump administration only. He stand up and said, "I we are not afraid of China sending us needle or shoes or undergarments or something. We are afraid because they will be developing, they are stealing the artificial intelligence from us, and they will time come when we have to take the permission from them to do anything."
It's very
It's scary.
concerning. Very.
It's
Now
very scary.
you obviously while you've been here, you were very impressed with President Trump and his policies on
Yes, I am
health.
impressed with these policies. Yes.
Yes. So so why do you think he was not able to be reelected? What happened, Ankush? What happened here?
Sir, this is a debateless debate, I think. What I think, I have seen 30 Mules. What was that movie name? 30 Mules, right?
What was it?
A movie which was 30 Mules, right? What was that movie which Dinesh Dinesh D'Souza has uh,
Oh, the documentary.
yes, I think the
Oh,
30 Mules. I saw it in the Republican office at Saddlebrooks here in Bergen County. Okay.
yeah, the most recent one that he did.
Yeah, yeah. I think it
Uh,
was 30 Mules or something. I'm sorry, I don't remember. And it shows that how, what process they followed very smartly to take away the elections, I think, or to take away the freedom of ours, or the liberty of our people, or the constitutional values for which this country stands for.
mhm.
You know what I want to say here, because that's not what the constitution says. Very, if you like I can I
2000, the documentary was called 2000 Mules.
yes, I was saying 30 mules. No, it
2000
was
Mules.
2000
So
mules. Yeah,
you so what he was saying, Dinesh D'Souza, what he was arguing in this documentary was that the mail-in voting
yeah. How they
uh,
do that.
contained a lot of fraud, and what they were doing was that we call harvesting ballots,
Right,
collecting ballots, and dumping these ballots, huge numbers of them, into the boxes that had been set up to collect them, and
right.
that it was fraudulent. Now, let me ask you this: do they have mail-in voting in India?
No, no.
No,
India, we have electronic voting now. As I
electronic.
told, yes, everybody has a voting card. Even I have a voting card.
You have a
When
voting card. You have an ID card to vote.
yeah, that's called the voting card. It has
Okay.
my face, my picture on it.
Right.
It has my address on it, my home address. When I was there, I made it. It also has, like, we have a social security number here. There we have an Aadhaar number. So now they are also adding the Aadhaar number over there. So I
What is the
have that.
number? What is it called? What number?
Aadhaar, Aadhar, Aadhaar. Like we have social security number, it's called Aadhaar number there. Okay.
Okay.
So now you, when I used to be there, there was no Aadhaar number because it was still growing up. So when I used to go for vote, I take this. If I don't have that, they don't allow me. If I show my
You can't
lessons,
vote.
no sir. If I show my other document, no sir. We need that only.
So then you go, you have to show that card.
Before I get entered into the booth,
Right.
there
You,
is a guy who look at that card and say, okay, you
well,
go, and there used to be paper vote. When I was small, I used to go
yes,
with my
yes,
parents, right? Paper voting.
yes.
No more now. There is electronic vote. There is a patch. You click which party you going to vote, and it goes, and it if you by chance press the wrong button, it's gone. You can't change it.
You can't change it. Now it's all happens on one day.
One day.
One
We
day.
Yeah, no, in India what happens is, if I'm not wrong, because it's like a huge country, a lot of population, almost four times of America, so they have the voting across 1 month. Like this part of the country have on one day, this part of the country has on another day, this part of the country has on another day, because there is there is an election commission board there, which give the dates to that particular area, that where this area will go for vote,
I
right?
see.
Yeah, and then because they have to send everything, the police force will be there, all those electronic voting system should be there, the people should be there who can check the voting cards and everything, it's a huge process. It's not all like a one day work. That's what I was talking with, I think not with you but somebody else in the GOP, that we should have an electronic voting system.
Right.
You should go and you should press the button. We are still living in like 19th century, where we have to do a mailing votes. We don't need that.
Well,
If I
but
want
it's only recently that we've started having mail-in votes here. It's only recently.
Oh
It
really?
it really came to popularity during the COVID when we had the lockdown, and
Okay.
that's how it happened. And we happened to have a presidential election, a national election during the lockdown. See,
Yeah.
or right after the lockdown, and we instituted this mail-in voting. We never had widespread mailing vote. It's some see as you probably know, our voting is conducted by the states. It's under
Yes.
control of each individual state. So
Right.
this the process varies state to state to
State to
state.
state.
The reason for that is it's in our constitution that that is a function of the states, and also because we don't want some centralized control of the voting, of the national voting, that might rig or fix the voting for the whole country. So there's not one system for the whole country. Instead, there are 50 different
Okay. State
systems.
wise.
Okay. But now some states have voting over 2 weeks. Some states have voting spread over 1 week. Some states have all mail in voting. Some states have mail in voting and in person voting. It's all different.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, and so it's much more complicated. Now in India, um, after the polls close completely, how long does it take for you to know the outcome?
Generally, I think because once all the polls are done in the country, right, then they start giving the results. And I think generally within a week, once everything is closed, there is a date. Election Commission says that from this date we will start counting the votes, and within 6 to 8 hours we know who is coming. That's all.
Within 6 to 8 hours. Who's
Yeah,
going to start
where the
counting?
wind is flowing, because if a particular party is winning in Kashmir, the Union Territory of Kashmir, and the same party is winning in the state of Punjab, or in the state of Delhi, or in the state of Maharashtra, where Mumbai or somewhere, so we know, okay, they are leading here, his candidates are winning here, and within 2 days, I think, within one day everything is closed, and the final tally come within 24 hours to, or maybe 30 hours, because it's a huge country, right? So
Right.
sometimes it take little time, so within a day or day and a half everything is clear crystal. It's not like this, okay, now we are getting the votes, now again we are getting the mailing votes, and we keep on sitting on the computer or on the TV. Okay, he may win, oh no, he may lose, oh no, he may win. It's not like that, you know.
Okay. You're pretty sure after about 6 to 8 hours,
Yeah, within a day, within a day everything is closed, because it's all
everything is
electronic,
over.
right?
Yeah. No, we're talking about 4 times as many votes as in America, about four
Exactly.
times as many.
Yeah, because we have 1.4 billion people, and here we have around 350 million, approximately 350, and there is 1.4. So you see 35 into 35, 700, and 700 and plus 700 is 1.4. So it's almost 4 times the population of America.
Oh
So
my
I
goodness.
hope that also the voting rates is also 4 times, right? So
Well, it seems like a much more efficient system.
yes, on voting, I will say yes. And it started long back. I think 2000 elections, when we have the electronic system at that time. It was not all over India, but in major cities like Delhi, Mumbai, they have the voting system. But 2008 or 2014, it's implied all over, even in a small remote village where nobody goes. Like we have a remote village in Arizona where just 5 people lives. Sometime big farmlands, even there people go and have the electronic vote. They vote and they come back
So
with
now
the
you pretty much have electronic voting everywhere.
everywhere. I'm pretty sure 99.9%.
Well, Ankush, this has been a fascinating conversation. We're at about 42 minutes now that we've been chatting, and we're going to do this again. But I hope that it has helped people to understand a very big and important country in the world today. We haven't talked much about people from India, Americans of Indian descent. I'm almost reluctant to say American Indians because when I was growing up, that's what we called Native Americans. We called them American Indians or just Indians. Now,
Right.
of course, the people that we used to call Indians are what we call Native Americans.
Americans, right, right,
Okay. And now we can say Indian Americans, but still some people may be confused. All
right.
because all because when Columbus landed in the New World, from what we understand, he thought that he had discovered India.
Yeah, in 1492 when he came, he think that he has discovered India, but it was not India. India was on the other side of the ocean. Yeah, because at that time India was, I don't know how many people know, but India was the biggest economy for 1000 years.
The biggest economy.
Yeah, it contributed to 40% of the world economy for 1000 years.
It's
Till
I
1700,
don't think the story of India
anybody knows.
has ever been properly told, Ankush.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't think it's ever properly told.
yeah,
Been properly told.
because Britishers already used the policy of divide and rule. Here, I also want to point one thing. swastika, right? It's a very, 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 very poised symbol for us. It's like our god, swastika, right? And Hitler during the World War II, which I hate him from the core of my heart because he killed millions of people, innocent people, right? If the soldiers are killed, it's a different story. But if you kill innocent people, it's a different story. It's a barbaric act, right?
Right.
So, so when he used the Hacken cruise, right? He used the symbol he used was a twisted symbol, a Hacken cruise, a hooked symbol, a twisted one. But very smartly and I said ruthlessly, a British author said, "Oh, it's somewhat similar to swastik, the very poised symbol of Hindus, Jains, Buddh, and even Sikhs also. Sikh community which have a turban. I have many friends who also wear that when I was in India. I don't know much here. So he called it a swastika, and then he started portraying our religious symbol as a hate symbol. And I can tell you my story. When I came to this country, I purchased my car. I was in Atlanta. As a custom, we first go to the temple from where we purchase the car. We get it, a little bit of rituals over there, and then we take the car anywhere else. So I went directly from the purchasing lot to the temple. They put swastika over there. I came to the target. Let's purchase for something. And when I came out, there were five, six people looking at my car, and I said, "Oh my God, it's a car. It's not an aeroplane." What they are looking at? They said, "You have swastika here." I said, "Yeah, that's my religious symbol. What's wrong? Who are you? You where are you from?" I said, I am from India. I am a Hindu." Okay, then I don't know. There was one gentleman over there. He said, "Oh yes, they have this," and then they just left. They didn't harm me or my car. I will be honest with you, but I didn't understand that why this happened to me. Why this, I will say, religious bigotry happened to me. So just last year during the pandemic time, what happened? And I will just take 30 more seconds. I know we are a little bit up the time. The New York State proposed a bill which says that swastika is a hate symbol,
Yeah.
and we were raised. Why? No, this is not the right. So we said you have to make a demarcation that Hacken Cruise is a hate symbol, not swastika. Swastika is a symbol which is being worshipped by more than 1.5 billion people across the world, in America and Europe, wherever they live, right? They, even if you see um, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, he also worships swastika. He's a Hindu. He always have a Hindu tag on his hand like me. So I said that's weird. We fought with the New York Senate. We won it. Then the New Jersey came. We again fought for it that this is our symbol, And then Maryland came. Again, we fought
Oh
for
my
that.
lord.
So that's the. I know this is a story we can discuss what problems as an Indian
I mean,
American.
this went back a long, 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 long ways before Hitler.
Exactly. It
Right.
was it
It
was
had
in our
nothing to do
Vedas,
with
which is
Hitler.
written 100,000 years back. Even even the NASA says that this was more than 10,000 years back, because NASA can only predict up to 10,000 years, right? Their technology.
Okay.
But from my grandparents, when we have the bedtime stories, they tell us the stories about our warriors, which were hundreds and thousands of years, how they fought, so I have heard them, and I am pretty sure every Hindu child in our home, bedtime stories are like that, right? So so I was very surprised, but I know this is things which we can what we are facing right now, especially in the New Jersey. I want to have a special conversation with you on one day on that, and what's happening across America. Now we have
Right.
the
Right.
CEOs of
Yeah.
Google and everybody.
Yeah. We will talk more about these things, but it goes back to the misunderstanding that I've been talking about, and the
Yes.
fact that this the story of, well, first of all, the story of Hinduism. I don't know how many Americans even know very much about it, even
Yes.
though it is a religion practiced by billions of people. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
saying billions with a B, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it's a story that hasn't been told and that we're not aware of, and that we certainly are going to have to become more aware of, not the least of which because India is uh, rapidly emerging and growing economic power in the world. And I think America should be grateful for that, because more and more India is becoming both an alternative to, and dare I say, a threat to the supremacy of the Chinese economy. Okay.
Which is, it's not a threat to America, it's a threat to humanity, I always says, you know.
I don't think it's a threat to America. I don't view it as a threat
Yeah.
to America, as I view it more of an alternative to China, and an increasing. Well, I don't know if China should view it. They may view it. They may come to view it as a threat if they're
Yeah.
seeking world supremacy. They may
Right.
come to view it as a threat. Okay, but India has managed to walk
Tackle that threat in a very
managed to walk
holistic
a
way.
careful line in the world, to
Right.
walk a careful balance in the world as it grows and becomes more important. It's a fascinating, fascinating story, Ankush. And I want to thank you for helping to enlighten us tonight. And we will talk more about it again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice talking with you.
Same here. Take
Good night,
care.
Dan.
Good night.
Bye.